All right. So in this afternoon, we have our, I think, the third lunch talk for 2023, Faculty of Education. Welcome everyone to this session. For I think I saw some faces not from Faculty of Education. Welcome. We are happy to have you all here. Every month we have this program, so make sure you stay tuned and check what we're going to have for our next lunch talk. And to Pak Wahyu. Welcome, Pak Wahyu. Thank you so much for having your time here. We are so pleased to have you, and it's a really a great honor opportunity to have you here. Everyone's waiting to have insight from you today. But before I proceed to introducing Pak Wahyu, then I will let Bu Dekan, Bu Nina Nurmila, Professor Nina Nurmila, to give her remark. Thank you.
Panggilannya Pak Wahyu ya? Oke, I'm just here. Thank you. Thank you. Ya, oke. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very happy to see you all. Provided lunch, I would like to announce that lunch is at 12, but we were very busy. There was no announcement, and we regret that when the speaker come, only like 3 or 4 of you who come. But then today I have time to announce that okay, lunch is provided, and after you do prayer, please come for have lunch. So I'm happy that when the speaker come, all of you are here. So I'm very delighted that you come before the speakers. Yes, that's how you humbleness to seek knowledge. When you seek knowledge, it is important to our by coming before the speaker. And like Dr. Desina mentioned, that Pak Wahyudi, we have already had like 1 year last year, 2022, for 12 lunch talk, and it is great that to have you here today to be the third speaker in 2023. Yeah, the first speaker in 2023 was me,
Suara
give
kecil.
a motivational lecture to you. And the second, I would like
Nih,
to
nih, pas,
introduce.
mas, ada yang komen.
That's in the Zoom, isn't it? The second lunch talk was to introduce Dr. Amih Al-Humami. He is one of the lecturers yeah, for education and society. So you have met him, yeah, before on Friday. It's good, yeah. And then today we have Pak Wahyu. That's what Dr. Desina mentioned. Dr. Wahyudi Akmalia is a PhD candidate, and he is in moment. So it is very fresh from the oven that he is doing it right now, and he would like to share his experience of doing field work. And it is timely that our semester 4 is writing their MA thesis and to collect the data from the field work. Yeah, doing field work was very, I mean, a bit miserable. The miserable thing it was that at that time, well, I was doing some polygamous marriage, and I was asking questions about from the women, the children who are in polygamous marriage, and sometimes I think it's around the public transport, and at that time I was also had pregnancy. I had like 2 of 1 until 3 months pregnancy, so it was a bit hard for me physically, yeah, and also emotionally because of the interviewee subject was very difficult to accept emotionally. Yeah, I think I will not talk so long. This is just my brief introduction about how to do field work and how you will experience field work. But other than that, there is another side of positive thing of doing field work that you get new knowledge for you to write for your thesis or for your dissertation. So please listen attentively to our speaker. Thank you very much. I will return back to Dr. Destina. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Professor Nina Nurmila, for the remark. And actually, Burina already gave a brief explanation about Pak Wahyudi, but I will officially read his CV to be more precise. And since I already given this slide, so Pak Wahyudi, or known Wahyudi Akmalia, at the moment, he's staff at the Research Center for Society and Culture, National Research and Innovation Agency, PMB BRIN. So in Jakarta, Pak. Yeah, in Jakarta. All right. At the moment, Pak Wahyu is a PhD student at Malay Studies Department, National University of Singapore. So that's as what Punina explained. He's now conducting fieldwork. So it's very timely for all of you here who also, especially semester 4 MA students, pursue doing your project also for master thesis. So doing a field work for newbie at the moment is very timely for everyone. Pak Wahyu also experienced that, sharing with all of you, and you might also later on get an insight and have a very fruitful discussion, hopefully, for today. And Pak Wahyu is a researcher, and he received the bachelor degree from UIN, Sunan Kalijaga, Yogyakarta. Also, asing Jakarta. Also coming from Jakarta, and so he's originally Betawi, and then undergraduate pursue in Yogyakarta, UIN Sunan Kalijaga in Islamic education, and then he start a master program in Sanata Dharma University, also Yogyakarta, taking cultural studies, and also another master program in University for Peace Costa Rica, taking international peace studies. And then at the moment, he pursued national PhD in Malay Studies, National University of Singapore. And besides all that background in academic, in education, he's actually conduct so many research, and he received many times grants. So the recent one, it may be still going on, or oh no, it's from 2013 2014. He got $20,000 for doing a project in, oh, that's a big amount, in project collaborative between research grant project Asian Public Intellectual, hearing the historical voices. And from Nippon Foundation, he got lots of funding from Nippon Foundation also, and then Ford Foundation from Singapore, also from Australia. So he has lots of experience in conducting research and seeking for a grant, and he get that grant for conducting those research. Besides all the journals article that already published, I might not mention it one by one, but you can check later on Akmalia Wahyudi and all his manuscript that might be related with your study or the project that you are doing. So without further ado, Pak, so I think that's the short introduction. Maybe you can add more if I miss something. The time is yours.
Thank you very, thank you. Hello? Can I? Exactly. Thank you very much, Modesty. Uh, Good afternoon all. Exactly, I'm getting nervous. Why? Because I'm the same as you as PhD student, even though I'm professionally a researcher in LIPI, but currently in BRIN. Uh, as PhD student, absolutely, or master student, we are doing kind of suffering in our life for doing our course, trying to finish anything task coming our lecture. So here I'm trying to explain a little bit about my experience, what I'm doing currently for my field work. But before, I'm thankful with from Nina Nurmila to invite me uh, to speak here, and also Pak Bambang, Pak Desti, and also Mbak Tati. I'm very grateful, even though again I'm getting nervous to be here because my position is not only researcher but also a PhD student. But I don't know when I'm going to finish for this shit thing lah. Okay, but I will be talking a lot about doing fieldwork for newbie scholars in social science. Why newbie scholars? Because I'm part of it. Even professionally, I've been working as a researcher for about 12 years in LIPI or currently BRIN. That many publication and many work that I have been done on it. But again, when I'm doing for PhD's program, I'm becoming a newbie scholars, and I have to follow whatever our supervisor need and ask because we are a santri and we are student. So our life rely on our supervisors and rely on our lecturer. Please follow whatever your supervisor and lecturer are asking. Please take note that one. But uh, but the important point that I would like to talk to you is about how doing for fieldwork for newbie scholar is about more talking about practical issues rather than perspective or conceptual issues. Because why? Many people believe that doing fieldwork is easy for every people, but in reality, it's not an easy that we thinking. That many variable, that many obstacle that we're gonna face it. So here, I'm trying to reflect myself, also to share to you personally what I'm doing when I'm doing for this field work that before as a researcher. Surely, I will be talking more about the social context for Indonesia. So when you have to do and what when you're going to take interview and how you're trying to find for personal network or involvement. So here, why fieldwork exactly? People, if you're doing for desk research, fieldwork mean that you're going to library and read many books, many kitabs, many articles, and then you try to republish and rewrite what you got it. But when you're doing for the social science, you needed data information coming from the society. So fieldwork is very important. It's not only the process of observing and collecting data about people, but also we're talking about the cultures and natural environment that they got. So in here in fieldwork, we're trying to interact between the theories that we got and the reality that we face in society. And also from the fieldwork also, we got many insightful coming from our informant, interviewee, or if you're talking about anthropology, we got in coming from interlocutor. So we learn a lot coming from our informant. So the fieldwork is very important for us. So the fieldwork also trying to force and re-evaluate our thinking, our pre-assumption, or theoretical framework that we got coming from reading, coming from books, and coming from reference, and trying to connect with the reality that we face with the people. But sometimes what you got from reading, what you got from newspaper, what you got from media online, totally will be different. I will be talking later on it on my fieldwork, for instance. So why fieldwork? Of course, again, as PhD student, as master student, fieldwork is very important before we make a thesis writing project. And fieldwork is very important. It is possible if we already finish some of needed requirement. Our master student here or PhD student here. I don't know how many requirements that you needed here before going to fieldwork or making project as thesis. So this is part of the important. And for you and me also, who try fieldwork is trying to be a new researcher. in your field. So people, when you're doing research or for a thesis project, people will be asking, who those people who are interviewing? Who's the site that you are visiting? How exactly is happening in the field? So this thinking and this question is trying to ask how being for a researcher. So that's why for master degree student and PhD student, we have a project thesis with different name. Like in Indonesian universities context, for instance, we call it as dissertasi. But in overseas, whatever you have, we call it as thesis. So, oh, was so big. And the fieldwork itself, there are many types of fieldwork, whether qualitative observations or ethnographic studies, comparative method, survey method, case studies. This type of fieldwork that you can learn a lot coming from your maybe methodology and 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 this kind of specialization dealing what kind of research that you conduct. Let me give an example like ethnographic research. What I mean ethnographic research? You have to stay for about 3 till 1 years in one of village or one societies to understand very well the life circle on that people. Or maybe you want to conduct for the case studies to understand very well about one event. So you don't need to staying for about 1 year for that field, for that field. Or you can do for the survey methods. But again, you have to meet up with the people. So meet up with the people again, and easy that we talk. So this is a book that I read, definitely talking more personally about field work. Like the first one, Gemma Purdon, for instance. Maybe you can read it. You can find it illegally. I don't know where. Uh, Gemma Purdon's book is, in my opinion, yeah, is very important because he's talking about one of Indonesianist, yeah, or Australian scholars who talking more about Indonesian issues. He talked more about personally CV or backgrounds, talking about these people. You can observe for this reading how letters and diary is very important to understand very well. And the second is coming from Benedict Anderson. I don't know whether that we already a publication in English or not. But Ben Anderson's book is talking about his personal background, why doing research in Indonesia, and then when he was banned because of the issues during Suharto's regime, he then moved to Thailand and also moved to Philippines, and then was conducting research about this area. And one of two books that he published is about imagined communities, for instance, and also under three flags, talking about anarchist people in that Southeast Asian people. And the last one is about how Southeast Asian scholars or international scholars talking about fieldwork and their self. This is very personal reflection dealing with the fieldwork and how they face obstacle when they're doing the fieldwork. That, in my opinion, is very significant for us, at least to motivate that we are not alone for doing this PhD or master degree journey. And the last one is coming from Indonesian students who are studying in Leiden universities that this is written in Bahasa Indonesia. Here again, you can get some insightful feedback. What was they doing during the field work? What is do and undo with those issues? And the last one is not strongly related to Indonesia, but talking more about subaltern issues. Means that if you are studying about minorities issues, if you are studying about conflicts issues, there is victims that we have to take interview. When you take interview with the victims, when you take interview with the minorities group, the thing that we should consider about, could we speak up enough for themselves, or we just get benefit what we got coming from the field, dealing with their suffering, and then because of this field work, because of religious minorities issues, we got for PhD's program. This this is really a paradox, but it is again there's many dilemma that we have faced, and this is research ethic problem that we have think again as PhD student and as human being also. So when you already got it for research proposal already done, in my context, for instance, as PhD student in NUS, therefore about 6 course that I have to finish, and also I have to finish again for English course in 3 level because the IELTS course that I got is not enough for my university. And also I have also got scholarship, and I have to teach also for bachelor degree for 416 hours. This is part of responsibility when I got a scholarship. But you guys, your obligation only finish it, right? But by NUS, there are many obligation. But the question is, when you already got it for your course, when you already finished your regulation dealing with course needed, when you have to do fit up in context of Indonesia, where we have started from. Usually, my friend told they're already graduated from PhD. Doing fieldwork is the crucial issues because you can go suddenly disappearing from this work. Why? Because a fieldwork that you have to do by yourself. And sometimes your supervisor cannot check you very well where you are at now, what you're doing, because it's your responsibility as as student. So, at this moment, people will be disappearing. They will not come again in the campus till the end of the world. This is happening also for master degree and student and also PhD student. So in the context of Indonesia, where we have start from, when you already obligation to the field work. In my context, when I was studying in Indonesia, knowledge hub is very important. The thing that you should do is you should go to National Library. Why you should go to library? You should apply for this ID card. Yeah. After this, all of you guys have to go there. Yeah. It's it's free, yeah, to apply it for the when you need to ID card. Yeah. I think it's for international student also. They get free. Just bring your passport. Yeah. Why National Library is very important to us? Because there are many archives, there are many old articles that you can find. This is to build your background as social, historical background and the issue that you're trying to conduct. This is in 20th building, I think. 20th floor, if you want to go there. 20th floor till 23rd floor. Yeah. 22 till 23rd floor. So this is very important. And you can also about microfilm to understand very well what's happening during the colonizer era in the Dutch Indies person. So this is very important. And second is knowledge hub that I would like to share to you is about Pusat Informasi Kompas. You can try to Google. In Pusat Informasi Kompas, this institution, they make documentation, the newspaper in the beginning till now. As a student, As long as I know, you just need to pay about 1,000 rupiahs for every pages, yeah. But please bring your ID card as student, because if you not bring your ID card as student, you have to pay for about 5,000. So this is very important to us, because why Pusat Informasi Kompas is very important. By exploring a lot this data and information, it give you socio historical background, the issues that you're trying to understand. I will be talking a lot why this is very important in my work. And second is archive, Andri, you should go there, and also Pusat Data and in Tempo, because these three institutions will be covering a lot what was happening in the past again in Indonesian context that I can give to you. The third one is local library in every province that you're trying to conduct if you're studying about Indonesian issues. Because in perpustakaan daerah, sometimes you get many good books for your research. You cannot find it where maybe when you're studying in overseas, but you can get it from here. And when you're staying in Jakarta or Jogja for a while, there is one library is very important and significant. Kolese Ignatius. This is free also. You can go there. Sometimes you cannot find the old books coming from Indonesian scholars, but you can find there. I always try find the old book coming this library. And the last one is, if you have good opportunity to go to Singapore, you can go to ACS library. This is free. Because in ACS library, sometimes you got find it for selebaran apa mbak? Pamphlet that you cannot find it for any Indonesian library. My study for master degree, for instance, talking about Tanjung Priok tragedy. It was Muslim massacres, Muslim killing during Suharto's regime. And I found that pamphlet in that ACS library. Of course, if you have a time, if you have enough money to go there, hopefully your faculty can give you scholarship to go there. Yeah, that's good lah. That's good lah. That's good lah. Life is not complete without shopping. Why I promote Singapore? This is few example of my work, like for my master degree, selling out about memory, talking more about the politicization of reconciliation is in Islam during tragedy of Tanjung Priok, acting research for this library that I already talked to you, and also in Pusat Informasi Kompas also I got many information dealing about cell phone and how smartphone was coming to Indonesia, and who's used for this smartphone. And I was writing for one article journal nationally, and the third one also writing about Talang Sari tragedy. It was Muslim killing during Suharto's regime in 1989, when 200 Muslim people were killed in Lampung at that time. And I was conducting research to understand very well about this context by searching earlier about newspaper at that time. And the last one is about Talang Sari tragedy also. But before I made comparative politics, but the last one, I was trying to explain about Talang Sari tragedy. And the best issues not only was conducting research by taking interview, but also taking for making a documentation with this old newspaper. So after you got knowledge coming from documentation, so what you should do exactly? So In my opinion, establishing, making institution network is very important in Indonesia. The first one that I can suggest you, you should go to Indonesian NGOs that are concerned about the issues that you focus on. In the beginning, I was losing what I should do for my thesis project dealing with this tragedy of Tanjung Priok. I was suddenly going to North Jakarta, Tanjung Priok. I was asking with the people about this. Did you not understand about this event, about Tanjung Priok, blah 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 blah. Sometimes you get lost and people don't do not understand very well. And then my friend talked to me, Yudi, you should go to Contrast. Contrast is NGOs of human rights, concerning on abusive power of human rights issues. So from Contrast are the who. You can try to find out those who become a victims during Swart's regime. Oh, okay. So NGOs will understand very well about the real politics, about network that you're trying to go and study. And the second is religious community as part of your fieldwork studies. If you want to study either Muhammadiyah, Nahdlatul Ulama, Nahdlatul Waton, Ahlul Bait Indonesia, or Jamaah Ahmadiyah Indonesia, you should go there. You should come to there and ask permission that you're going to the fieldwork. Most of them will be welcoming to you warmly because you have good attitude trying to conduct research on them. They're trying to welcome you. Even though personally, there is elite of the people who don't want to accept you. I have a story on it. I have one group with what of a religious communities elite, one group, and we're doing chit chat in the group. But personally, when I was sending her email, sending her message on WhatsApp, he didn't answer me. She didn't answer me. I don't know why. And I tried to reset again. Mom, could you give me please your time to conduct research about this issue? She didn't answer again. I don't know why. But in group, we did that again. And I was asking my friend, hey, why this elite looks like this? It's me, Morgan. You're not quite important. Oh, okay. So meaning that sometimes it's very close to us, but sometimes they don't want to answer. But the problem is, even you already personally close to the people, and you already for the for this religious elite. But sometimes religious elite don't want to talk interview. No, don't want to take interview. I'm coming from Muhammadiyah people, and I was asking my friend, my close friend, I wanted to conduct research for this the formers of Muhammadiyah's top leader. Could you ask me to talk him there, allow me to take interview? Told me he was not allowed to talk interview with everybody. Oh, so we are really close. So you can imagine, uneasy is working for the people. Even personally, you understand very well. And the, and the third one is scholarly and campus as part of your counterpart of good knowledge. So sometimes lecture scholars in campus, they understand and very well about the issues that you're trying to conduct on research. Like in the issues of Kupi, for instance, I didn't come to Prof. Nina Nurmila to understand very well and knowledge what is Kupi is. And many information that I got comes from Prof. Nina Nurmila. But before, absolutely, Prof. Nina Nurmila didn't understand me. But I attend to Kupi Congress in Jepara, yeah? And then I close to her and I said, from Nina Nurmila, I'm Wahidi. Currently, I'm doing research for my PhD. This is if it is okay for you, can I conduct research to take interview with you? Okay, you can next meeting. So first introduction is very important for us to know each other. Yeah, but I'm worried that you forgot. and and the last one is formal letters to announce that what you're doing for the fieldwork. For instance, if you're conducting research for GAI, Jemaah Ahmadiyah, you should apply for the formal letters what you're going to do. When they're okay, they give you all of the contacts that you need. So those people in Jemaah Ahmadiyah said to me, Wahyudi, you already give your formal letter. So what you gonna do for the people? And what the people that you're going to contact on it? I want to do this blah 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 in that some Indonesian province. And they can give to you. This is about institution network that we have to build. Another one is following social media account and its group. I know maybe some of you are very allergic to social media. No, social media is not important. But currently, it's very significant to us because most of leaders, most of figures, they're using social media. And even if you want to study about Pemuda Hijrah and others, they have social media groups that you have to follow. Why social media account is very important for us to do research or fieldwork to know the current event. Because if you do not understand, sometimes they have Islamic event on that Indonesian province. And to follow about the figure of social activity. In my case, for instance, I was trying to conduct research about Majlis Tabligh in Muhammadiyah, and I was like trying to get interview with this person, but she's staying in Yogyakarta. And on Facebook status, she said for the public, currently I'm in Jakarta. It's a good moment for me. I was then contacting personally. Afwan Ustad, I'm Wahyudi, blah, blah, blah. Either if it is okay, I would like to conduct interview to you. Oh, okay, ready, carry on here. So I'm very effective. At least I don't need to go to Yogyakarta because my informer already come to here in Jakarta. So this is very important. And the last one is how to extrapolate the first contact information. You cannot be like journalist when you suddenly come to the people. I'm sorry, I'm coming from Triple IU. I'm a student, master degree student. Would like to it's not like this. It's very annoying to them. So the first contact, the first introduction is very important for you because you're doing research. You're not taking for any gossip. So the last one is personal network. Why personal network is very important? So with personal network, you're trying to find out about peer group, either individually or collectively. Secondly, you either get recommendation from the first stakeholder that you got, or following the event or social activity. Like in the case of individual, I can give you an example. If you have already a personal phone number coming from your informant, you cannot suddenly send her email. I'm blah 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 blah. I'm Wahidi, PhD program from NUS. We're conducting research about this. Uh, uh, is this okay for me to take interview with you? Sometimes they can say, no, it's not okay. I'm very busy. What you gonna do? But insignificant person for us because they don't understand you. They don't understand you. Then they have right to reject you. This is happening to me also. What a pity. But again, we are PhD students. We have to be strong, persistent, and consistent. Okay. Again, uh, but you have to have kind of personal network. Oh gosh, surprising. Yeah. Maybe after this, yeah, we can talk about this. Okay. But is living, yeah? Yeah. Okay, we can talk about this after Q&A, yeah? Yeah. And following event, suddenly, if you if you don't have any contact information, if you don't have any friends, if you don't have any brothers or sister on this issue, what are you gonna do? Are you going to cry? Oh, I don't get any information. And you talk to your supervisor, what I should do? And your supervisor said, it is said to me. Just do it. What you should do exactly? Just come to the place. If I can suggest you, just come to the place and keep a silent for several days. Why? You don't know what the information that you can get. This is happening to me. I was doing many. I was doing a research in one of Islamic group in Bandung, but I don't know any information about it. I don't have any network. I just come to the mosque. I've been staying and praying for about 3 days and trying to observe. And then people recognize me, who you are exactly. Oh, I'm Wahyudi. I'm coming from a LIPI researcher. I'm very interested to know, understand about these religious activities. Oh, okay. What are you going to do, Wahyudi? This group, this religious event is very important for me. I just want to know. Oh, okay. You can meet up with these significant people. Hey, I got it. Like, I'm gonna show you dealing with my uh, uh, informer. Sometimes you don't know yet what was happening in the field, but trying to mobilize, trying to do move more and more what you're doing in the field work is very important. This is some picture of my field work that I got coming from Jogja, coming from Surabaya and also Madura. Uh, this one I met up with Kelebun, ya. Kelebun kepala desa, ya, the head of village, dealing with the Shiite conflict in Sampang at the time. And I was conducting research for him to understand better about the conflict. And my friend asked to me, Yudi, don't forget to wear patches. So he's trying to adjust yourself as orang kota, ya, as urban people. And then I met up also with Bupati. How in English? Yeah, head of district in Sampang, and took interview the case of conflict Shiis, and he accept me. You know how many hours that I have to need to meet up with Bupati? You know how many hours? 4 hours. Yeah, but I need it, even though I got nothing. But at least you yeah, you get picture lah. You get picture that you're really serious for doing field work. No, I got many things in my voice recording. And the last one is, this is, I met up with Ustad Tajul Muluk. Ustad Tajul Muluk is the significant person in the conflict Shi'i in Sampang. Yeah, in conflict Shi'i in Sampang. And Tajul Muluk doesn't want to meet up with the people at that time. I don't know why. Uh, 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 but but suddenly Tajul Muluk welcomed me. So my friend was asking me, idea how come you can meet up with Tajul Mulu. I don't know. I just come. And then you welcome me a lot. I'm like, so for me, oh. And this first one is one of Punk Islam. This is the group of Punk Islam. How musicians coming from the punk group, they convert to be more a Muslim. At the time, I just following my friend was coming to Surabaya. My friend, we can meet up. Where are you going today exactly? I'm going to my friend. Punk Islam mission. I need to reschedule 2 times because it's very busy. But again, is this okay for me? I could be patient to wait. So Prof. Haidar assistant was asking me, Wahidi, Mas Wahidi, is this okay for you to reschedule again our meeting? It's okay. I can wait till the end. Sorry, Wahidi, not in the morning, in the afternoon. It's okay. I can wait for it. So this is very important for me. Yeah. Because your struggle of master student or PhD student. So we have to be hard worker for us, at least for this school. So the last one I would like to talk to you is about how we're trying to approach for the informant, interviewee, or interlocutors. Again, you are PhD student, you are researcher, you are master student, you're not intelligent that can doing secret mission about your project. Suddenly you come here, oh, who you are? I'm just ordinary people. No, you have to introduce yourself, who you are, what you're going to do. This is very important because honesty is become a obligation for us. Because if you're not honest, being honest person, you're gonna get a problem dealing with the informant. So even if it's very dangerous issue, very difficult, you have to talk. You can imagine, I have to talk with Ustaz Tajul Muluk and and this problem already 13 years and still unresolved. And I had to say, why you did? Why you should come here? Yeah, 4 years ago, I was conducting research for this issue, but I cannot meet up with Ustaz Tajul. But currently, I meet up. What I said, I'm sorry, Ustaz Tajul. I'm doing my PhD project. I have to take interview with you. It's very unpolite to me, right? How come I'm doing research for my PhD program and this victim is still there? But again, honesty is still very important. What are you going to do? If you're doing for PhD program student, you have to talk about it. If you're doing for master student for your thesis, you have to talk about it. You're not journalist. You're not intelligent person to make secret mission for your countries. You're just doing for this shit thing, a thesis project lah. Sorry, lecturer, I'm student lah. Yeah. So during the fieldwork, your life relies on your informant significantly. You cannot say. You cannot say even you are very big top scholars, public intellectual. People understand very well about you. But when you're doing fieldwork, you're nothing. Your life rely on informant. So wherever your informant making schedule and time, you have to follow. For instance, when I was asking for my informant. Okay, Wahidi. But I would like to meet you up and taking interview, time and place up to you. Okay, Wahidi, we can meet up in Bogor. At the time, my position in Ciputat is far away. I was taking motorcycle. Oh gosh, but I already clocked the time. So I was going there till 12 o'clock p.m. Yeah. And my wife was calling me. What are you doing? It's already night. No, everything okay. But it was raining. What I'm doing like this? But again, this informant is very important. When you are already clocking the time, you have to follow whatever they say. You cannot say, sorry, sir, I'm very busy. I'm still a Simon with Frobnina Nurmila. Who you are? No, it's not like that. You have to follow whatever your information, because your information is king. So this was happening to me. So when my friend was asking me when I'm in Jogja, why did could you meet up? No, it's different on my informant. So when I meet up with my informant, my friend was there. Oh, you did. This is your informant. Yes, this is my close friend. Why you did? Oh, okay. Yeah, sometimes you don't know yet what you're going to face, but your life rely on this informant. But again, please stick this schedule when your informant saying anything and you have make schedule already. And when you talking interview, sometimes people don't know you yet. So you have to talk to be more comfortable, more enjoyable to them. So that's why you have to memorize your question in your head. Don't, okay, I have question for you. One question is, what are you doing exactly? Very uncomfortable. It is annoying for people sometimes because you cannot concentrate when you're taking interview. So I mean, in my opinion, memorizing anything, and even if you feel that it is unpolite to bring your notebook, just keep it by yourself. But please trying to be more concise and concentrate while you're talking, because it will be getting your your stomach will be hungry, right? Because there's 2-3 hours that you have to take interview. And the last one is be alert to informant or interviewee response. Sometimes there are many things that you're trying to explore, but suddenly your informant feel that's very sensitive, and we can read it coming from their behavior, but you still motivated to ask, okay, oh, what do you think about this? But the problem is, but you having a problem, this is very sensitive. I have a cases in brain in Lipi. I have senior researcher. Sometimes she's trying to be more advocate advocate person. When we was talking about intolerant issues, and we meet up with the veteraners, my senior lecturer was taking interview and intervention. Why are you doing like this? Is it not allowed? And suddenly, the informant was getting angry. I was lucky at the time. I don't want to take interview with her. So I spared it. I know what going to happen exactly when we are in the group. So be alert. Sometimes your informant is very busy and you already took 1 hour. For instance, I got alerts coming from the informant. He said, okay, Wahidi, you can get many information. I can give to you later for this document, for this data. If they're saying like this, means that enough, Wahidi, I'm very busy at this time. But if you cannot be alert, you're trying to ask again, and again. it will be a problem. I believe after this, they don't want to talk interview again with you because we still need them. So that's why we have to keep in touch nicely with them. Sometimes there are many issues that we're trying to clarify. Even for this issue, sometimes they're trying to share many things personally about their problem, about their wife, about their economic. And sometimes you have to help. Oh gosh, this is happening also to me. And sometimes you have to become problem solver. What's happening to him? Currently, I got a contact with one of informant, and she said to me, "YD, are you okay in Jakarta?" "Yeah, I'm okay. Could you help me again for these issues?" Oh gosh, but this is happening when you're doing keep in touch with your informant. And the last one is after you conducting research, making recording, and anything, don't be proud of it, but keep documentation. Maybe sometimes you believe already make for this storage and this is 1 tera. I believe my data will be not losing. Don't believe on it. You have to keep it because your documentation, your voice recording is everything. Is everything for you because sometimes you don't have time to go back again in your fieldwork. So that's why making documentation, all of the data and information is very important. So if I can suggest to you, I'm not promote because Google do not pay me exactly, but the thing that I can suggest you, please, you have to subscribe for Google Drive. It's for about $30, eh? Ya $30 lah. 20 sorry. So ya 300.000 lah. It's it's not big deal lah for us to keep our data. So you can subscribe for Google Drive for about for 100 uh, gigabyte, right? So you can connect it with your laptop. So when you keep your data and every information, you can save it on it. So it will save you exactly. So this is happening to me. After getting information, I'm trying to make a backup for my memories storage because it's very important. And also, don't forget to buy your voice recorder. I know you have a good cell phone, you have iPhone, but again, you have to this trying to differentiate with your voice recorders. It's a cheap lah for the Sony. It's for about $70 lah. It's about 700,000. You can buy it lah, and it's good. It's it's good facilities for you. Why you have to use it? In my opinion, it's trying to differentiate with your cell phone and with your work. So voice recorder is part of the important. So okay. This is part of thing I can say to you, but it's fake, yeah. It's a journey. Let's enjoy it. But it's fake exactly. Uh, You see, I'm so happy, right? But exactly not. Yeah, I'm very happy, right? But you can talk to me personally. How's my feeling exactly? I think I think that all. Thank you very much. Terima kasih. Yeah, we can personally talk lah.
Thank you very much, Pak Wahyu. Very insightful, very interesting story. So, are you still conducting the data collection at the moment, or all of it already finished?
No.
You're still
Like,
going on. So, there will be more stories.
yeah.
All right. So,
And I have to follow whatever my supervisor saying. Yeah.
Pak Bambang say no complaint. Have to follow. All right. Thank you, Pak Wahyu. Very insightful. I also take lots of notes since I didn't do any field work for quite some time. Maybe the main things that we get from Pak Wahyu at the beginning is like definitely you're going to get lots of insight when you're doing field work, like so many things going on the field, and you can get like maybe more than what you expected to get, or maybe you're going to face something that unexpected. That's what Pak Wahyu explained, and be very creative things what you can do, even like I'm going to follow whatever you want just to get the data, isn't it? And also the next things that I also take a note is it's also important your positionality when you're doing field work. This is connected with the ethical. When let's say you're positioned with someone who are a victim of whatever, like if we take the very case that maybe sensitive, whether you just simply whatever that happened, I just want to get my data, or you're going to be like compassionate as well, thinking like, okay, they're in a position of a victim, etc. So this become a consideration. Your positionality is very important, and like also consider lots of place to get data, bank of data that Pak Wahyu explains lots of them. And yeah, I think those lots of things that is you need to take note. And I think it's really timely for those who are about to go to the field and doing it. It's really a good snapshot from Pak Wahyu, giving your more spirit to do it, but also alert that there are going to be lots of things happen on the field, definitely. And okay, I offer to everyone, if you have any question. Okay, yes, please.
Thank you very much, Pak Wahyu. What the Buddha Sita call him? I never called him Pak Wahyu. I would like to highlight some of the important points that I remember from the talk that he just gave. That you need to write based on your audience. For example, when you write your master thesis or PhD dissertation, what is in your mind is your supervisor and your examiner. Because if you would like to publish your thesis and dissertation, your audience will be different and there will be a different process for that. So like what I did after finishing a PhD thesis and publish it into a book, it took me like a year to edit. And what I did was that to follow the author's guideline, which is different from thesis writing or dissertation writing. So that's one of the point that I listen from him also about supervisor and examiner. And then about entry access, yeah. Yesterday, I received email from a researcher coming from Kalimantan who would like to do research to collect the data about academic integrity at Triple IU. That research is very important, but the notice is very short. I think we need to allow some time that if you need service in the working or office hour, you need at least maybe 1 week, yeah, about asking the permission in order the host of the place of your research will be ready to serve you, yeah, to arrange the time. Like what he did is that we need to arrange the time, not just like, okay, I would like to interview you. No, people will reject right away. But I think there was a good strategy that he did. Like he was passionate in writing by being in the venue, yeah, in the place. Actually, I did that also. After doing my PhD, I had research funding to do my postdoctoral research that I did it in Malaysia. At that time, I went to Malaysia and I was lucky that 2 days after I was in Malaysia, there was a big event like Polygamy Award in Jakarta. So I went to that place with Sisters in Islam. Actually, Sisters in Islam is in the opposite side of the people, Global Ikhwan at the time. And we were there they serve us lunch. So I was in between the people who practice polygamy, and they're nice in giving us lunch. So I stay there after the event. So I ask where I pray, and then during the prayer, after my dua, I talk with women there, and I come I go there every day and meeting different people. And when we are there, like praying together with them, it is very easy for them to talk with us. So it is very important that to let the public knows that we are there to do research, so people will not let you down, they will help you. Yeah, so that's what I find among Malaysian also. But the key, like the close friend, to access someone that you would like to interview or to have access to the archival documents, is very important. Like for example, when I did my fieldwork in 2003, 2004, I went to the court, religious court, because I would like to know, for example, every year how many applications for the polygamous marriage in the court. And I have a friend whose sister worked there. So it is through this sister I could access to yearly report of the religious court. And that's different when I went there back in 2017 without any friends. So I need to write a letter by taking a letter from my university saying that I am the lecturer at UIN Bandung, for example. And then after that, we need to wait for 1 week to access, in order to have access to interview the judges. And then I couldn't access to the documents like what I did in 2001. But then a year later, I'm assigned to teach in the PhD level at UIN Bandung, whose students are all the head of the judges throughout Indonesia. Now I can do research in any religious court because most of the judges are students. So the key access, yeah, to certain places is very important. And then another important point that he made is about remembering interview questions, okay? In order you are being professional. Well, I actually did different thing. I took that kind of notes books, and then I printed my interview guide. So I put my interview guide inside my book, and I took a note during the interview. And also I record using the recorder that you show us. Yeah, it's very handy. Yeah, by when you would like to listen, you just put it in the USB plug, which is not the your smartphone. Yeah, so that's why we oblige you to have research instruments like interview guide, observation guide, because you are not going there taking your chapter 3. No, you going there with observation guide, interview guide, document study guide. So when you go to the field, you are certain whom do you would like to ask, what documents you are looking for, if it is observation, what object, what process you are going to observe. Yeah. So be ready before going to the field. Yeah. Okay, I think that's all from me. Sorry to talk so much. I saw Ma'ruf recording this process. You don't need to recording because this is in the Zoom and it is recorded via Zoom, and you can access it, and we will circulate it in the newsletter. But if you need it now, yes, it's okay for you. Thank you very much. Bu Destina, time is.
Thank you, Punina. Okay, I over to all audience. If you have any questions from this side, any questions?
Please don't
So
difficult
Ma'ruf
question.
and then the next.
Thank you, Pa. I really enjoyed your presentation with your humanist educational style. This talk was very informative and entertaining. So my question is,
May I know your name?
sorry, my name is Maruf Aman. I'm a master's student from Pakistan, doing MA education here. So my question is there any difference on the nature of doing field research in this digital age than before? Any difference on the nature of doing field research in this digital age than before? Thank you so much.
Next one.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Nasir, MA student in the Faculty of Islamic Studies. My question is, how do we deal with language barriers when conducting fieldwork research? For instance, I am a Javanese and I want to study a local tradition of the Sundanese people. I don't speak Sundanese language. So how do I go about that? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Maro. Is there, thank you for, this is really great question and quite difficult exactly. I already asked you to not difficult question, but anyway, is there any different field before and after digital age currently? No, it's still the same. The data is there, but the thing that I can emphasize to you is if you're doing a field like digital ethnography, but trying to observe social media, Instagram and Facebook, yes, you can do, but your resources is the same with other scholars. Your resources is the same, like all of us here. But the question is how the different is your resources comparing to others. So the getting the factual event, story behind Instagram is very important to differentiate between you and others. In my case, for instance, I was conducting research, visual and digital ethnography and others. Of course, some of my work published in Scopus and others. But again, people still can access it. But the problem is, if we can send the access data, there is expert persons in your field could understand better how to use this data. Because we are, yeah, not you, we are PhD student, we are master student. So it is very important for us to get the first quotations coming from our informant. That differentiate between us and the expert scholars. Currently, we are learning how to become researcher. When learning to become researcher, we're trying to understand very well coming from our fieldwork. Because after your graduation for this triple UI, when you're trying to publish your work, the most significant person that reviewer will be asking you what the data that you get. If you get it from the online, every people can access it. There is no differentiate on that. But if you get coming from the direct quotation for their issues, it's totally different. That's the first answer. And the second is, sometimes there is behind story on the Instagram posting that we can understand yet of the issues. I can talk to you about the case of CE's case in Sampang currently. Like what's happening today, most of the victims who become refugees in the Jamundo, in Sidoarjo, East Java, they can go home. They can go home to Sampang. Currently, 12 of families can go back home. But only Tajul Muluk, the leaders, cannot go home. Even though they already make conversion themselves to be Sunni that before Shi'is. When you got informations coming from newspaper, coming from the media, you got nothing
the behind of this. But when you're going to fieldwork, trying to take interview, coming from Surabaya, Sidoarjo, and then you go to the village of Sampang, you can understand very well where the case is. Even though you get confused because it's very problematic and complicated issues, but at least you can understand very well. And the vibrant when doing fieldwork is totally different. Because why? You can make it your sociological imagination about geographies, about the people, about the issues. When you're just sitting down, seeing visual ethnography in Instagram, in Facebook, on YouTube, yes, you can get data. Yes, you can finish it. Your this master thesis or PhD thesis, you can finish it. But you don't have any sociological imagination about the village, about the society. That is very significant issues in my opinion. Yeah, thank you, Mas Ma'ruf. And Nasir, yeah, you want to study about Sundanese, but you're not Sundanese people. How are you gonna do? But I can ask you, why are you making for this difficult situation for yourself? If you don't understand, why you had very short period of your study, means that if you're being PhD student and you're doing anthropology in ethnography, and before you have 1 year to study Sundanese, is this okay? You can do field work and your time, you have a spare time to conduct research for you 1 year, and you learn a lot. And that's Sundanese cultures and languages. Is this okay for you? But if you don't have a time, if you have short period, because this is only PhD, even though it's hard. You have to think and reconsider about the schedule and making measurements, how you can study fastly lah. Because it's very boring to study master and PhD like this, right? So, but if you still if you still insist to study about Sundanese people, so you have to, and you want to know about the languages, and then you research grant already accepted. What you should do? That's problem, right? Rise your research assistant who understand better about the cultures, about the people. So research assistant research is very important. Even though you're gonna have a problem, because you have to translate it, what your interlocutors or research assistants say and what you got. Sometimes it's quite difficult. I think that's all. Thank you very much. Yeah, Nasir.
Right, let's take from this side.
Okay. No, it's okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pa. It was quite interesting. I have two questions, particularly to related to field work. I had an experience of data collection. Yeah, so sorry. My name is Hazrat Shakain, and I'm a student of 4th semester education. So we collected data for our research from several universities in Indonesia and from the parliament. I had that experience of doing fieldwork, and I could like observe how the participants during those interviews that we had, how they were. And I'm now planning to do my thesis back in my home country, but I cannot go there, so I will definitely hire some research assistants to do the data collection for me. So do you think like is it the same if you use someone else's help to give you the data from the field, instead you go there and collect it? Because it's quite different. Like you present there and someone else is there and giving you the data. So the real observation you are thinking of and you want won't be possible. But still we can depend on the observation of research assistants while they're out there in the field. Thank you, Pa.
Hazra, still it's difficult question to answer. But anyway, I'm trying to answer. Yes, sometimes you face for dilemma, but that I can suggest to you, what can thesis project can that can finish you fastly? Yeah, sorry, I'm talking as PhD student, as master student, not as professor, as a lecturer. The thing that we should consider, how we can finish fastly for this study, either as master student or PhD student. So when you think fastly, you have to think the project that could be applicable for yourself and for your community. When you think that I can study better in my country, so I can hire for the research assistant, and if it is okay, I can finish it and collecting data. If it is okay for you, yes, you can do that. You can do that. At least you can finish it for this shit thing school. It's the same to me. Yeah, you can finish it. And but when you're trying to learn as a scholar, when you learn as researcher, after this graduation for your school, you have to think a lot your fieldwork, what you should do your fieldwork. That's very important. For instance, if I can suggest you, maybe you can make comparative perspective with Indonesia and Pakistan, right? Afghanistan, Afghanistan can make it perspective. In Afghanistan perspective, you hire for the research assistant. But in your mind, you have kind of sociological imagination about your country. But in Indonesia, you just know how you're doing in everyday life as a student, but not as Indonesian. So doing fieldwork in Indonesia, making comparative, so make you better to become kind of researchers. And it is good for your CV. Means that I'm not only studying in Indonesia, but I'm doing research in Indonesia.
Yeah.
When you apply for a job in the academia market, at least you got a point for your CV that I have been doing my field work for about 1 year in Indonesia. And Indonesian language is part of your third languages that you can understand better. I think that the thing that I can suggest you. But thinking again about effective cost that you have. And think again about the sole priority of time of your study that you have. Because again, the good thesis is you can finish fastly lah. Then you have to stuck here many years.
Yeah. And but
Oh, I think he want to
Okay.
yeah, my second question is related to my Indonesian experience of field work. This was my first time doing a field work, so I just sensed something when we were there. Like sometimes the participants who are there giving you the data, they sometimes feel like not attached, some kind, or they feel like shy, not revealing everything to you. So do you know, are there any techniques that a researcher can apply to get the conversation going and get them in the mood so they can like reveal and give you more information? Sometimes you just ask question and they give like one word yes, or sometimes say yeah it's working, or no it's not working, something like this. So how can like they explain it in details? Yeah, thank you, Pa.
Sometimes, in my opinion, when I'm trying to make conversation, trying to find the information that connect with you and informant. You coming from Afghanistan. What the thing that Indonesian people can understand very well about Afghanistan? Maybe there is a movie about Afghanistan, maybe about talking about Kabul, maybe about travelers, novelists in Indonesia, Agus Wibowo, yeah, who's talking a lot in Agus Wibowo. I forgot the name. Agustinus, yeah, Agustinus Wibowo, yeah. Agustinus, his travelers writing a lot about Asian country like Afghanistan and other countries. So Indonesian people know very well about your countries. So trying to connect with the issues. In my case, I'm trying to explore what is the first issues that I can rise dealing with them. Maybe about my friends, maybe about study, maybe about food or football. Trying to explore. If you can get connection, that people are really comfortable when you say it, everything would be easier. But the most significant point that I can say to you, please to be honest, what you're going to do. People can respect what you're saying, what you're gonna do. When you're saying that very transparent, what you're going to do in your interview and what you're doing after this. And please don't be advocate person. For instance, you're trying to study about religious minorities, and you say it to the people, I'm studying this and trying to advocate and speak up to Indonesian government for you. No, like this. I know it is very important, but again, it's beyond your expectation. We are only student to finish this shit thing lah. Thank you, yeah.
Thank you, Pak Wahyu. So we come to the end of the program due to the time limit. Thank you so much, Pak Wahyu, for the time, and thank you everyone for coming for this lunch talk. See you again for next month. Good afternoon. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.